Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. For those of you who already do the things that make us proud, your nation in appreciation says thanks to you out loud. Your schoolmates should imitate the way you tap your potential. Let me try to convince them why their effort is essential. Our men and women in uniform, before, during, and after Desert Storm, always perform above the norm, anywhere and everywhere on the planet. They need to follow our heroes' lead, but they cannot lead if they cannot read. Allow me, please, to plant this seed. Don't take freedom for granted. I'm serious, I'm furious to see U.S. schools behind. Remove the clatter, it's just a matter of our making up our minds. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. We believe in you, warriors protect you to do what you must to rise. Please do your part. Please start before another warrior dies. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. They sacrifice for you. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. Please.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org, the academic patriotism program that is dedicated to veterans and serious secondary scholars. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now here is our host, civilian urban educator, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very much, DeQuay Wilson. I am Carl Boyd, a civilian educator, and we honor our veterans and active duty, those who are serving, as well as those who are attending our schools in the United States of America. So the program is dedicated to our students and those who serve. As a matter of fact, we have a subtitle, American Students Striving for Excellence in honor of our troops. And on Saturdays, we like to feature those who are serving and who have served, and today it is a singular honor that we have as our very special guest via telephone on this Saturday afternoon. He is Deacon Johnny Cheatham, and for all that you have done and continue to do, we do say thank you. Johnny Cheatham, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I can't hear you that good.
Okay.
Yes, I'm with.
All right, let's see if we can turn my volume up. I hear you very well.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying it's okay now or getting better?
It's getting better.
Okay, we shall continue to make sure that we are heard. This is a very important program because indeed it features someone who has been in service to our land in a number of different ways, and we will be discussing that this afternoon. So please don't hesitate to interrupt and say that I need to speak louder, or wherever there is a place where you need to get our attention, please do. Our program, dedicated to students and veterans. We ask young people to take advantage of whatever opportunities they might have to meet the Johnny Cheathams of the world, and we'll find out why, because I'm going to ask that you tell us something about your background, military and post-military. So would you please?
Yes, sir. Well, I was born in Paducah, Texas, and raised in San Diego, California.
Ah.
I went in the military in 46, June 46. I had some problems with my records because I got out in 54 and re-enlisted. I went in the United States Army, and trained in Camp Roberts, California. I was 17 years old. Then went to Germany and with a all black outfit, the 1402nd Engineer Battalion,
Wow.
and integrated the First Infantry Division. Truman called us integrated the Army. So I integrated with the Big Red One, and it was all white. They fought in World War II in Germany. When I went over, all the buildings was blown up,
Wow.
and back. And then I came back to the United States in '55, landed in Fort Riley. That's why I winded up in Kansas City, and then went on from Fort Riley. I went to Camp Roberts uh, for and the Big Red went to the 101st Airborne Division. Well, I
Oh boy.
stayed there, and I ran track and played football. They kicked me out of Fort Riley because all I did run track and play football. So I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I was a coach for the softball team. We won the group championship, and also I put on my track shoes, and Tennessee State, they call now Tennessee A&I, a guy named Ralph Boston, and I lived in the town with Wilma Rudolph, and she was the 100-yard dash Olympic champion, and Ralph Boston had jumped 26 feet
That's right.
in the Olympics. So I went down there and jumped with him. I jumped 22 feet.
My
I was
goodness.
the talk of the post. But I left Fort Campbell and went on to Korea to the first Cavalry Division. Stayed over there 16 months. Left. Went to down in El Paso, Fort Bliss, where I tested nuclear weapon, atomic bomb.
Ooh.
So I got a picture of me with all the scientists, the only black, and it's up there in the Palestine Senior Citizen. Only black that tested atomic bomb and nuclear weapon. Left there and went to Germany. Stayed over Germany in the 8th Division. That's where I went airborne, jumping out of airplanes. Left there, and I went to 82nd Airborne, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I had about 40, 50 jumps, and I left there and went to Vietnam. Me and my brother was in Vietnam together. I'm 95 and he's 93, and he stayed 28 years. I stayed
Wow.
25,
I'm sorry. You stayed how long?
25 years.
Yes, sir.
25 years in the United States Army. And then went to Vietnam, stayed in Vietnam. I got hurt in Vietnam.
Oh, sir.
I was in Quezon. I was in the city of Wade. Quezon, we had to sleep on the ground with a helicopter with machine guns.
Yes, sir.
Woke up the next morning, bodies all over.
Yes, sir.
It was on the North Vietnamese border. And I was in the city of Wade where they overrun the whole city.
Absolutely.
And the head offense, 1968. So I got hurt on a mountain where they was flying 155 in the North Vietnam. So I came back to the United States, Fort Sam Houston, wound up in Fort Leonard Wood. They tested evaluation. I tested a rocket launcher that went up the exhaust of the airplane and fired tanks. I worked for G3 at G3 test. I retired. I went to Fort Leavenworth. That's where I retired, in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. after 25 years.
This is such a remarkable history in so many different ways. To say thank you is inadequate. It's interesting that you mentioned the 155 millimeter howitzers. We were performing at Camp Evans,
My goodness.
which was a fire support base. I was not enlisted. I was a part of a singing group from Chicago, and we did USO shows. And we were at Camp Evans, and we were in the middle of our performance, and suddenly we heard these explosions, one after another. We started grabbing our equipment and running. The enlisted started laughing at us. We didn't know what was funny, and they said it was outgoing.
Right.
155 millimeter, 17 round mission, and that was south of Quantry. And then of course we ended up in Saigon, staying at the Saigon Hilton. But that is, I mean, there are so many things that I would love to ask you about when Tennessee A&I became Tennessee State University.
Right.
There was a young lady on the south side of Chicago. I grew up in Ida B. Wells. Her name was Barbara Jones, and she was right behind Wilma Rudolph in the 1964 Olympics. But my brother was in Camp Pendleton, and he was in Korea. He was in from February 8th, 1952 until February 8th, 1955. He was a lineman in Korea.
I was a combat engineer. I used to sweep minefields, blow up miners. I did all combat engineers, build airfields, roads, bridges.
My Lord, DeQuay.
They're dangerous people.
My Lord, DeQuay Wilson is our producer and co-host. And DeQuay, we're listening to a gentleman who tested nuclear weapons, who has served in minefields. I mean, my God, was it particularly because of your expertise, or did you have?
Right. Well, that's what combat engineers do.
Yes, sir. Wow.
It was dangerous. They had those plastic.
Yes.
They if it rained, they float down the river, and the roads, as they call it. And then if you touch one of them, boy, you got blowed up with it.
Yes, sir.
Bouncing Betties. They had all kind of different mines. Back in Vietnam, they didn't have the courtesy of the mine. They would take a stick and a string across and bend it back on the tree, and it had manure on it, and it would hit you in the stomach.
My God.
And then it kill you. They would sharpen the branch. They had like bear traps, and
oh yeah.
Yeah, they had sticks sticking up in it, sharpened, and then you step on that with that
yes, sir.
grass in it. You fall down and the stick in you. They had all kind of traps. If you had a can, you pick up a pop can, it'll blow up your hand, blow up your arm. Because that was their expert. They were experts in that.
Yes, sir.
They didn't have mines like we did and all that stuff. They just had these traps for you, and you had to watch out from something trip. You trip over it, man, you gone. A bamboo viper was a snake, a small snake. If it hit you, you're dead in 3 seconds.
My Lord.
Man, I tell you, I've seen a lot of stuff in Vietnam.
Well, I have a. Go ahead. I have a question for you, and I would like to find out what it was about the 101st Airborne that makes that nomenclature so extremely interesting, and people thank you like they've never thanked anybody?
The 101st Airborne, they really stopped being airborne. They are air assault. The 82nd and the 173rd were the real airborne that jumped out of airplanes.
Yes, sir.
The 101st were airborne back in Germany and Europe during Hitler days. They
Okay.
would glide down on gliders and parachute in Normandy, and that's where they were airborne. But when I was down at Fort Campbell, they were airborne. But for a while, they took that airborne away from them and called them air assault. What they would do is go up in the helicopters and slide down the ropes
Yes,
and
sir.
stuff like that. The 101st. But overseas, they wasn't airborne. We never got any combat jump. But the 82nd, that was the greatest airborne outfit I ever been in my life.
My
They
Lord.
were sharp. They
Okay.
were the sharpest people I ever made. I went to the 82nd Airborne. I stayed in grade 13 years before I got promoted. It was a lot of prejudices, a
Yes.
lot of stuff. I couldn't get promoted. I got promoted fast. I came in as staff sergeant and then wound up being a sergeant first class.
Yes, sir.
Then I had to cut the stripe off.
Why was
I
that?
cried like a baby because what happened in 1950, the Army took the bug sergeant out. So that made me a staff sergeant. Back in '68, they put the bug sergeant back in. So if you were a master sergeant or a sergeant first class, you got to cut off one stripe. So
Now,
I cried. I cried like a baby. There wasn't nothing I could do. So they wouldn't promote me. So I talked to people about it. I had went to every school the United States Army had. I had so many schools, flamethrower schools, NCO schools. So I
wow.
wasn't seeing the sergeant major, and the sergeant major said, "You go up, what? You're a sharp young man. You've been in the Army all this time, 20 years. You're sharp. You mean you've been in grade 13 years? You go tell a captain to put you up for a board." So I went and told the captain. He said, "I got to see the first sergeant." I said, "You run this company as the first sergeant." So the old first sergeant came in. He was goofing off something. He said, "I'm going to put you up for the board. If you don't make it, don't come crying to me."
Mm.
So, you know what? In the battalion, they sent 32 people up. They came out and had the test. I come out number one in the
Yes.
battalion. And the sergeant, the major, and the sergeant major came up. Guy said, "That Sergeant Cheatham been in grade over 13 to 15 years. I know why he made it." You know what the major said? He mashed the test. He mashed it. So one guy told him, got up and said, "If you go up full battalion, make sure you take all your records." So I went up to the division, took all my records and give it to him, talked to the guy. I went up for the board, me and the supply sergeant. He told me, "I hope you don't make it." I
Wow.
didn't say I didn't say a word. I walked in and all them colonels, all you could see is colonels. They asked me all them questions. When it came out, I went up to the division. The guy said, "You already E7. You come out number 4 in the division."
My
The
God.
division holds 2,000 people. I was on my way to Vietnam. I got the Army Times. I looked at it. I come out number 16 in the United States Army. So God bless me.
Yes, sir.
And like I say, I'm a deacon in the church, the Good Samaritan Baptist Church. I also helped build a veteran center over here on Leeds Trafficway. If you ever see that veteran center over there, me and the Air Force guy helped build that. And also, I helped 25 veterans get disability.
Wow.
And all Air Force, Marines, I just did it 'cause I like helping people. I did a lot for Kansas City, you know.
Yes,
I
sir.
also was the post commander of the American Legion Post 149,
Well, Wayne Minor.
Wayne Minor. I was the post commander there. I helped build that 12th Street, that monument down there with Kansas City, Olive Gates, uh, and Buffalo Soldiers. So I'm also a Buffalo soldier.
Yes,
I
sir.
also was the senior vice commander of the 5th District of Missouri, and it's on 21st. That's on 40 Highway. That's the American Legion
Yes.
post there. I'm also belong to the uh, all VFW. I'm a lifetime member of VFW, American Legion, and DAV, all a lifetime member. So I just help people if I can, and I do the best I can. At 95 years, God's blessed me so.
Praise the Lord. And I met a gentleman who happens to be a white gentleman whose name is Carl Tate, and he was with the 5th Division. Now, when you were serving, President Truman integrated the armed services.
Right,
You
right,
were a part of the armed services. Did you
right,
feel it?
right.
Was it as impactful as it should have been?
Well, it was. We when I took 25 guys to the first division, the colonel got all us in a big old congregation there in the building, and got everybody in there. Said Truman integrated, and it's gonna work, and it better work. I don't want to hear anything about it, but and it worked.
Wow.
But they didn't want us going with the German women over there. They told people that we had tails,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and they ran all that stuff. But
Yes, sir.
it worked, and never had any problems so far. You just try to do the best you can and pray on it, pray to God, and but I got promoted to SLC E6 back in the first infantry division. First infantry division is one of the oldest divisions in the United States Army, and they were in Normandy with the 101st, 82nd Airborne. They all fought in World War II.
Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this question. One of the things that occurred when we were traveling overseas, there were too many instances where foreigners in other lands were more respectful to black people in our own United States of America. Did you find any of that to be so when you were traveling?
No, I never found anything. The German people that I knew over there were were real nice people. And
That's
the
what I mean.
Germans,
Yes.
go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. That's what exactly what I was
The
talking
German
about.
people are some of the smartest people I have ever met. If Hitler had got that jet off the ground before they blowed up the place, we'd have been toast. The German people are very
Wow.
smart. I've seen a lot do a lot of stuff and technology over there that they did before we even tried to do it. You know, the German people are very respectful. You go to the guest houses, eat Venus schnitzel, sauerkraut,
Yes, sir.
drink their beer, and they're nice people. And in Vietnam, the people were very nice. Korea, they were nice people, and they were respectful. Haven't seen anything. The Korean Army were one of the strictest army I've ever seen. I've
Yes.
seen a sergeant hit one of the privates. They jump back up in a tank. they're strict. They're one of the best armies I have ever seen. And I never seen anything wrong that I could see about different countries, you know.
And as a matter of fact, I might not have said it as properly as I should, but that was the point that I was making. Everywhere we went, we were really well received and well respected. Here's one of the other aspects. As a matter of fact, may I ask you to allow us to do our mid-show break, and please hold on with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. Here is DeQuay Wilson.
It is time to remind our 7th through 12th grade students that you can win a monetary award from our sponsoring organization, Suits for Boots. You'll do so by writing an essay, and your essay title will be Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes. In your content, you'll identify a veteran who can be absolutely anyone, and a veteran at your school who can be absolutely anyone, cafeteria worker, administrator, absolutely anyone. If your essay is chosen and submitted by an adult who gives you permission to read it on this Waive Your Grades program, you will be awarded a monetary prize. Please send entry or inquiry to ACPATKUAW2024 AOL.com at AOL.com. It's pretty long. I'm going to repeat it one more time. ACPATKUAW2024 AOL.com at AOL.com. Now, back to our host, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very, very much. And back with Deacon Johnny Cheatham, 95 years old. There's nothing in the way you comport yourself that would suggest that you are more than 70. And when I think about your tour of duty and actually going into landmine areas and testing nuclear warfare and all of those kinds of things, I don't want to make an assumption. Is it all right to ask how you were wounded and how you are now?
Well, my back's messed up. I got hurt on the mountain in Vietnam because mortar shells came in.
Yes, sir.
I got hurt in a mortar shell, and my back messed up. I came back, and I got well in Fort Southeast. But as you get older, it catches up with you.
Oh, my Lord. And how long have you been active in your church or in the ministry?
I've been active ever since 1975.
Wow.
I was Good Samaritan Baptist Church. Also, I retired from Ford Motor Company. I was there 19 years. I was a supervisor for Ford Motor Company also.
Well, I will ask you something that I know you have been asked to before, and that is, do you have a book about your life or something that would allow us to study?
I have a book about my life. I've been trying to get somebody to help me to write a book. I never did get anybody.
Well, we will. We will. I mean, that is, when I hear you, your demeanor, it sounds to me like being a child of God. Your disposition is so positive. How do you manage that?
Well, I just pray to God, and try to exercise and eat the right food.
Yes.
And I pray to God every morning. Now, lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord. My soul will keep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My knees. Pray before you go to bed and pray when you get up. Ask God to help you. And His Son Jesus stood down there, He's looking at us from up above. One of these days, we all going to have to leave this old world. We just got to treat everybody right. That's the main thing.
Now, that is My God, so encouraging, and certainly, if there is something that you will allow us to do as it relates to ghost writers or whatever it might be, someone who can assist in recording that, every school child I can imagine needs to read your life story.
Right. Yes, sir.
One of the other questions that I have, we were talking about 1948, the integration of the armed services. DeQuay Wilson and I have a co-board of directors member whose name is Diane Charity, female, and she will often say that she retired a hard sergeant. What was it like in terms of the integration of females into the armed services?
Well, I want to say females, they they didn't go on the front line,
Right.
and they had wax back then in the military, and they uh, they had WAFs of the Air Force, and most of they did was Red Cross work. Most of the women did Red Cross work, and they didn't they didn't go on the front line. Now they had women, if you know, black outfit that sorted mail and, and sent it on the World War II and on the front line, stuff like that. But for them getting into the military, I never seen any women. We
Well,
have like it is now. You know, they got women, colonels, generals, and everything.
yes, sir. And when you,
And too, I was in there with Colin Powell,
wow,
Colonel Colin Powell, and John Westmoreland in the 101st, and John Powell put the Buffalo Soldier Monument in Fort Leavenworth. I was up there in Fort Leavenworth when he did that. I remember him. Uh, John Westmoreland, I remember him in the 101st when I was down there in 58, 1958.
this is this is so wonderful to us. You have such a remarkable memory, and where our young school children have a desire to do so, how can they visit the Wayne Minor Monument and both on 12th Street in Kansas City, Missouri, and
Right,
in Leavenworth?
right. Well, you can go down there anytime and visit the one on 12th Street because I have put that up there.
Yes, sir.
And it's a monument right there on 12th Street, right across from that building that belongs to the city. We used to eat in there and have bean dinners in there. Post 149, the history of Post 149, Wayne Minor, those buildings were named after Wayne Minor. The buildings, they tore them down. And then the post goes back to the 1800s. Wayne Minor was the last one, got killed in World War One, and he was taking the ammunition up to the front line just before the war was over. So that's the history of Wayne Minor. A lot of people don't know that.
No, sir. Now,
They and now Fort Leavenworth. Now you can go down to Fort Leavenworth. You drive down there, and it's the monument of a horse and a buffalo soldier sitting on top of that horse. And they got a little creek down there, water pond that you can go by there and visit. And they got a museum in Fort Leavenworth. If you go and look in that museum, it's got wagon trains. It's got all that stuff inside the museum, and it's something to visit. It's something you would be grateful to see. The story of the Buffalo Soldiers the Buffalo Soldiers guarded the wagon train from Fort Leavenworth to Fort Riley to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And that's back in the 1800s. They got the reason why they call them Buffalo Soldiers, because the Indians saw their hair, and their hair were like buffalo soldiers.
Ah,
That's why they call them Buffalo Soldiers.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, if a school, if young people wanted to visit you or they wanted to hear from you,
Yes,
it,
sir.
how do we do that?
Well, anytime,
Okay.
I've put on my uniform and I went up to at least Summit High School and I spoke at Central High School. I spoke with the Buffalo Soldiers. I spoke with Wayne Minor. So you can get together anywhere, the radio station,
Yes,
anywhere you
sir.
want to go. And so I can talk to the school kids there, anywhere, anytime.
Well, I'll tell you, when you mentioned the ladies and the male, and I think about the movie that was just released, the 6888. I am certainly looking forward to the movie about Deacon Johnny Cheatham. I mean, and I don't mean it necessarily in any glamorous way. What you
Yes,
did and what you have done has really been. Now, by the way, uh, do you have children, grandchildren, grandnephews,
right,
and nieces who have
right.
followed you into service?
My brother, me and my brother was in Vietnam together, Korea together, Germany together.
Yes,
I
sir.
wrote a story when I was down to Palestine Senior Citizen, me and my wife got two free tickets from Southwest to go to San Diego, California,
Oh,
round trip.
yes, sir.
I have four children, four girls and one son, and one of my daughters, stepdaughter, she passed away.
Sorry.
Uh, so I've got three. I got several grandkids. I do one in a couple in Las Vegas and the other in Kansas City.
Yes.
So
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to introducing some young people. Not that they would be the first, but certainly I suspect that they would be most interested in your story.
right,
And you were a magnificent athlete in your young life, not only
yes,
as a player but also as a coach. And are you athletically inclined now to the degree that you're keeping up with like the Chiefs and the Royals
oh
and
yes, sir.
all of the
I,
different teams? Any favorites?
well, the Chiefs. I used to be a season ticket holder,
Wow.
and I love the Chiefs. I love them.
Yes, sir.
I used to be a San Diego Charger fan because I lived in San
Oh,
Diego.
that's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, I had the occasion uh, to ride the wire at the San Diego
Oh my goodness,
over,
biggest zoo in the world.
overlooking
Oh
the
my,
property. And as I mentioned, my brother was in Camp Pendleton.
oh my. I used to go to Camp Pilsen when I was in National Guards. I used to go down to Camp Pilsen, far in the far range. Camp Miramar, Camp Pilsen,
Yes, sir.
Camp Roberts. I've been all there.
Well, let me tell you, I have the occasion from time to time to ask of our very special guests how they feel about today's climate and optimism versus pessimism. How do you feel about our near and far future here in the United States of America?
Well, I've seen a lot, in the 95 years. I think, United States is a great person. place to be, live when I came back from Germany.
Yes, sir.
6 years in Germany. I was in Germany 3 times.
Wow.
When I got off the plane, I kissed the ground.
My God. Yes,
I
sir.
was glad to be back home because I never knew nothing about the cars, uh, different types of cars. One time I was in Germany and I got ready to get some pop out of the, and the German showed me how to open the pop. I tried to take a knife and open it. He said, "You don't have to do that anymore.
Yes,
Just
sir.
stick your finger in there and pull it open." I
Absolutely.
had been away so long. I spent 8 years overseas. So the United States is coming a long way. The young kids know the technology. When we had typewriters, all they got is cell phone technology. They know all this. Even 3-year-olds know the technology.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Back when I came up, I picked cotton and shined shoes.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
I came up when I was in Paducah, Texas, 8 years old. I picked cotton. I
Well,
didn't. I worked for them. Even when I went to San Diego, I used to shine shoes.
well, let me tell you a quote that you might not recognize, but what we used to say on the south side of Chicago. Bip bop bam, thank you, ma'am. 15 cents. That's
That's
when
right.
Bip bop burr, thank you, sir. 15 cents. And that's when you
That's
shine.
right. You know a guy named Don Cheeto?
I do.
He's
Yeah.
a Cheatham. That's my name.
Oh, is that
But
right?
his name, his father was
Well,
down in Leeds. Leeds. They were Cheathams down in Leeds.
yes, sir.
And they went to Colorado. A lot of them in Colorado and Mississippi. I met his uncle up there in Palestine. I never met Don Cheeto in person. But
My
I met his
Lord.
brother. I met his brother. He
Yes.
said he was a Cheatham.
That you had to teach him how to play basketball, I guess. If you had met him. But that is, and by the way, I came to Kansas City from Chicago in 1980,
Oh my
and
goodness.
in December 1980, I joined Palestine Missionary Baptist Church,
Oh my goodness.
Reverend Earl Abel.
Reverend Abel. You know Reverend Abel
Abel. Hmm.
helped build Good Samaritan Baptist Church.
Oh, is that right?
Him and right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly I went over to Friendship when I got married to my wife Wanda Boyd, but yep, started out at Reverend Abel's church and have visited the senior home and just love the climate, love the atmosphere, love the history there.
Right.
And to imagine, how long have you been a deacon?
I've been a deacon about I guess 12 years.
Yes, sir.
I guess maybe more.
Wow, you are a remarkable. So when is your birthday?
September the 6th, 1929.
My.
Same year of Martin Luther King.
Wow. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
At the same month.
Well, I want you to know that there is no way that we could properly express our appreciation for your history and for your present. And I will be talking to you next week
All right.
about your book and getting that done. I don't think of it only as being desirable. I'm thinking of it as being important.
Yes, sir.
So we will definitely be talking about that.
Yes, sir.
Let us hear from you if you have any closing remarks, any questions you want to ask, anything that you want to say to us before you leave this program this afternoon.
No, sir. I'm just glad to be on the y'all listen to me, and I'm glad to be alive.
Yes, sir.
at 95 years. And if I can help anybody, do anything for anybody, I just like helping people.
Wow. Well, this is a wonderful
I give all the credit to God. God has blessed me so much.
praise the Lord. And DeQuay, last week we had talked about that Wayne Minor Monument,
Yes,
and we have some young people who have an interest in becoming involved in the appreciation for more than just one monument, one statue, one observation. So
right.
we'd like to find out from you. As a matter of fact, it was Cindy Malone who called.
Oh, that's my friend Sidney Malone.
Yes, sir.
He's a great. He used to be the post commander of the Fifth District, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a sharp young man.
As a matter of fact, when I think about 149, your leadership has always had an emphasis on God and leadership of godly men,
Right.
not only just from their orientation as persons, but also titles as deacons, and for that matter, reverend.
Right.
So we appreciate you. Please keep up the good work, and don't be surprised when you do hear from us.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you.
Wow. Deacon Johnny Cheatham. And for
Mr. Boyd.
we have in-house Louis George Walker, and he's the founder of KUAW.org. He is the gentleman who is responsible for our having a program here. And I don't know, Louis George Walker, if you were in the room when he said his name is Cheatham. He's related to the Don Cheadle family, who were Cheathams. Now that's something that's news. So, and he's an athlete, so you know he had to have taught Cheadle how to play basketball. But we're going to ask Brother Walker if he will inform all of our listeners as to how to pick up this program again later and how to get it every Saturday at 1 o'clock. So here is Mr. Louis George Walker.
All right. Oops. Oh, okay. She's on it before I even know it. Well, hey, welcome and thank you for allowing me some time on your show, Carl. This is Louis George Walker, and I am the president of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, the parent of KUAW Radio. And we're so glad that you're listening to KUAW today. You can always pick up our live broadcasts on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And you can pick up the recorded show later on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, search KUAW Radio, and then in the playlist, look for Wave Your Grades. Also, all of our other shows are on there too, but you can find Wave Your Grades. You can share this link with your friends, with your neighbors, with all of your relatives, and let them know that you were here. You can also do that on Facebook. If you go to KUAW-Radio on Facebook, you can find this show live and all of our live shows, but you can also pick them up after they're over with by just going to KUAW, searching Wave Your Grades, or looking in the playlist, and you'll pick those up also. So you can listen to KUAW in a lot of different ways too. You can listen to us on your Bluetooth speakers in your car. If you have online radio box, TuneIn Radio, the Get Me Radio, My Tuner, or Radio Garden, you can go to them, search KUAW Radio, and you can pick us up 24/7, 365 days of the year. And you can also pick us up on your smart speaker. If you have a Google or Amazon smart speaker, tell it to play KUAW, and you'll pick us up there. We're also partnering with KOJH, which is Kansas City's original jazz house, located in the historic Vine District, and you can pick that up on 100.5 on your FM dial right here in Kansas City, Missouri. So there's a lot of ways to listen to us. We'd also appreciate hearing from you. So leave us a message or a note or call in and leave a recording telling us how much you like it. Share this with friends. Share it with everybody. Thank you, and keep listening to Wave Your Grades on KUAW Radio.
Thank you so very, very much, Louis George Walker. You know what, as a matter of fact, I don't know if Deacon Cheatham, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Well, is there some contact information if a school wants to visit you or have you come visit them?
Well, contact, I don't know what you mean. You can call me on my phone, sometime I don't get around. I don't drive like I used to. My daughter, my caregiver, my girlfriend.
Okay.
She just helps me out.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I definitely have the number, and I want Louis George Walker to know you are out of the room, that this gentleman on the phone, Brother Walker, is trying to convince us that he's 95 years old. Now, there's just no...
That is fantastic.
A lot of people don't believe that.
That's right. I mean...
Yes, you can't beat that. You can't beat
Cannot.
95 years old.
Yes, sir.
I hope to be like that as I grow.
Yeah. I mean, it is remarkable. That is outstanding. And I want DeQuay Wilson to know that today we have launched a campaign for the Deacon Cheatham movie, just like the 688. We're going to be talking about Deacon Cheatham and his military history. Brother Walker, this gentleman used to defuse or search for nuclear weapons. He has been in minefields. He has, it is just remarkable, and has experienced, unfortunately, warfare, but fortunately has come through, and I'm sure an admiration for all of the younger enlisted who have followed. So once again, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
For Wave Your Grades. And here is DeQuay Wilson.
I would like to thank our listeners and our viewers for joining us today on Stoots for Boots, Wave Your Grades. We come to you live every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now our host, Carl Boyd, will close with either Carl's commentary on academic patriotism or his daily message for students in honor of our veterans from his book, Morning Message.
Thank you so very much. And once again, a very, very, very special thank you to Deacon Johnny Cheatham, Buffalo Soldiers, and my Lord, a veteran of significant note, and we'll be coming back to that. I am, by the way, on my way to the Plaza Library for that forum with Cultural Crossroads here in Kansas City on their discussion about reducing violence. It is now indeed 2:00, and my word, American students, as we must remember always to tell troops thank you for your service, let us also tell students thank you for your study. This has been Wave Your Grades, KUAW.org. Thank you, Brother Cheatham. Thank you, Sister Wilson. Thank you, Brother Walker. My name is Carl Boyd. Gracious God and wonderful Wanda. I'm on.